Welcome back to the Zero Waste section of your podcast playlist. In this episode, I'm going to show you some of the benefits of paying a little more for your socks. By the way, if you find this podcast valuable, please support the show over on iTunes, either with a short review or a star rating, or please just tell one of your friends about it. Thank you, and on with the podcast. In part 1 last month, I shared some ideas about what to do with old socks instead of sewing them up or throwing them away. In this episode, we're going to look at buying socks that are of better quality, more environmentally responsible, and hopefully last a little bit longer than conventional socks. I have to say at the top of this episode, I know you can buy a 5-pack of socks from H&M for like $12.99 or a 10-pack for $17.99. But by showing alternatives, we can get a sense of the true cost of something as simple as our footwear. The price on the shelf when you see it isn't always the best way to understand the value of that particular product. That true cost also needs to come with a better understanding of the differences between cotton, wool, polyester, and even bamboo, the most likely materials used in our socks. Links for everything I mention is in the show notes. Let's start with cotton. Simply put, cotton is cheaper than the other materials I'm going to mention. It's also breathable and soft. Wool is a good insulator even when wet. Wool is more durable but costs more. Polyester is a form of plastic, so it won't biodegrade. It isn't breathable, so your feet will sweat more than using cotton. Bamboo, supposedly, beats all the other 3 materials and includes a natural antibacterial agent called bamboo kun. Now, a good test would be to buy a pair of each and then take the time to wear them equally. Maybe even mismatch them to see which ones wear out first if there isn't trust in the alternatives, meaning you might not have trust in the alternatives and the cost isn't that much on your wallet if you bought 1 pair each. But what I might do is do a part 3 and see the results of such a thing, but it obviously would take quite a bit of time. So, hello 2022. Maybe. With that short brief, I have got a great rundown of some alternative sock companies trying to do something different for the environment via a blog post from Zero Waste Man from zerowasteman.com. Again, link in the show notes. In his research on finding the perfect socks, he came across companies that give back to the community. He created some criteria, and this is what he lists as important. A. Ethical companies. B. Companies that give back to the community. C. Only using the best natural materials. D. Treat their employees fair and pay them fairly. From that blog post, I wanted to highlight a few of those companies. This isn't for the same things as he does, as my focus is on your wallet and asking to consider the longer term when it comes to making such a purchase. What I mean is, yes, the H&M socks I mentioned earlier are cheaper, but do they last longer? I want to go deeper into the pricing and what are the trade-offs versus conventional socks. Let's start with Smart Wool, who make not only wool socks. They are at smartwool.com, and the lowest price I've found, so again, I'm going to give you some prices and you make the judgment, and hopefully you'll go to the website and decide to buy them instead of the normal conventional socks. Their socks start from $10.95, and they do have an environmental page. Now, Smart Wool, they use recycled wool. Besides the price, wool socks stink less because the fibers absorb the odor-causing bacteria. As a side benefit, less stink means you're washing your clothes less and you're saving money on water. I would assume if you do have a pair of stinky socks and you don't get the smell out of the socks in the first wash, you'd want to wash them again. That's what it's implying. In that sense, it can be argued you're saving money by buying these, if not directly, because the socks are a little bit more in price than conventional socks, but you're saving on the water costs with washing them. BoldSocks.com. They have socks starting from $6 because they have a huge 50% clearance section on their website. This means that if you're just interested in the price, then this is the best website out of the ones that I've chosen. They use cotton, but they want to improve the manufacturing processes with cotton so it's less harmful to the planet, while also giving back to the local communities. The next one is Maggie'sOrganics.com. Their socks start from $15 a pair, and they are the only ones to use cotton in this selection, but it's organic cotton. Their sustainability page cites some heavy sources, again, link in the show notes, and they intend on using cotton in the most environmentally friendly way as possible. They are the second cheapest in this group, offering value packs, 3 pairs for $24. Awesombrand.com. Their socks start from $16 a pair. This company uses upcycled processes to make their product. Awesome makes socks made from other types of clothing, so it's a closed-loop process. Buying their product means you're helping to prevent the throwing away of such fabrics. And you're helping the industry use less water, less dye, so these chemicals aren't being dumped into the water, and you're reducing textile waste. Gorilla/socks.com. $17 a pair. They're an Italian company offering bamboo socks. And I'm going to mention nickharry.com because they also offer bamboo socks and they start at $12 a pair. But their page, their About page, provides a succinct breakdown of why bamboo is the best material. And to give you a quick breakdown of why they're good for you, bamboo socks are antibacterial, extremely soft, absorbent, moisture wicking, kind to the skin, and temperature control is a feature. And what this means is the fibre is very adaptable and it makes our socks, or makes the socks, incredibly versatile when you're living in different climates. If you're still undecided, there is one more website, which is not a website for purchasing socks per se, but it's a breakdown of wool versus cotton versus bamboo versus polyester. And that's at feetstrap.com. Again, link is in the show notes. As you can tell by the runtime, this is a very quick episode. And everything I've mentioned here has already been published on the Twitter account in much shorter form, so you just get the links. Also included is a breakdown of the different materials we use and how they differ. As I said, at a later date, I'll buy one of each of these types of socks from the companies, and I might do a review for the YouTube channel. The only downside is none of the companies make toe socks, but since I'm buying a more expensive brand with Injinju anyway, thus the brand of the toe socks, the cost isn't going to be a factor for me in the same way that it might be for those who aren't used to buying such socks. I was happy to discover, though, in my research that Injinju do use part merino wool for one of their product lines. Though I do have to say foot health for Injinju is a higher consideration than planet health. I say that with no ill will. No single company can do everything, and this is why we should invest in different brands that have different ideals to making us all healthier in whatever way possible, whether it's for the environment, our health, or especially our wallet. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell iTunes about it. It's a helpful way to let the podcast grow and possibly get others to save their money. If you want to check out any of my other podcasts or my YouTube channel, please go to JonathanJK.com.